Broadcasting live from SOAHR 2023 at the Gas South District Convention Center in Duluth, Georgia, it's time for North Fulton Business Radio. Brought to you by Oberman Law Firm, helping you navigate the complexity of workplace issues. Now, here's your host.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to SOAHR 2023 live from the Gas South District Convention Center. I'm John Ray with Business RadioX, and I'm sitting here with Teela Jackson. Teela is with Talent Connections. Teela, welcome.
Thank you for having me, John. It's great to be here.
Well, thank you for coming on. We got a fun introduction.
We
did. From Kyla.
From our close mutual friend.
That's right. She's the mayor around here sometimes, I think, right? So, let's dive into what you do with Talent Connections. How you serving folks out there?
Sure. So Talent Connections is an Atlanta-based human resources search firm. We are placing great HR professionals like those that are attending the conference here today with our client companies across all industries and across the country. So we do great work. We're very passionate about HR. We serve the community. We work in the community, and we also live in the community.
That's fantastic. You have been at Talent Connections for a while now, right?
I have for 17, almost 18 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So you've seen a little bit of in terms of what makes a great HR leader, right?
I have, yes.
Talk about what that is. And that's changed over time, right?
It has. It's evolved, surely.
Yeah.
HR has moved from quite the administrative function to now being business critical and essential, especially around transformation. And companies are constantly transforming to increase revenue, to increase engagement among their employees, and to get the most out of their employees. So a great HR leader, it takes quite a bit. It's empathy, right? But it's also decision making. It's a business mind. It's forward thinking. You're constantly you need to think about today, but also think about the future of your organization and what that looks like and what the future employee of your organization looks like. But then you also need to provide great things like total rewards to attract the right employees to your company.
So how do you counsel HR leaders that they want to move up? Maybe they want to work for bigger companies over time, right? They want to. They're interested in advancing their own career in whatever way they think is appropriate. So, what advice do you give them in terms of keeping up and improving their own skills?
You know, something that's been critical for my career has been involvement in organizations like SHRM-Atlanta, but also seeking out those leaders that you would like to be like. Connecting yourself to those leaders who are, usually around these conferences and events, taking them out to brunch, to lunch, asking them how they got there, connecting yourself with the right people, but also having the great baseline knowledge from an HR professional perspective and the flexibility and understanding of people in business, like how your business makes money it's important for you to understand that first. That's business critical. And then everything else can come from there. So you may have the great foundational HR knowledge and experience, but building upon that and familiarizing yourself with the right data and metrics that can help push you forward and get you in front of those senior leaders in the company is something that's critical. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. And it's just amazing to me about SHRM, and I want to pivot towards SHRM because you have been so active in SHRM-Atlanta over the years. Obviously, it means something to you. And when you're looking for role models, what a better place to...
Absolutely.
Well, you can't find a better place, than SHRM-Atlanta.
It's true.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
And engagement and involvement. But I will say the one thing about SHRM-Atlanta that's been critical for me is you get out of it what you put into it. And so you really have to get in there and engage and get on committees and be a volunteer leader in order to meet the right people, connect with them. They see your investment in the community, and then they want to invest in you.
So talk about your involvement over the years, because speaking of putting in, you have given a lot.
I have. And, I do believe, though, that SHRM-Atlanta has given far more to me than I've given it to it. But I have been a volunteer leader in SHRM-Atlanta for over 20 years. My first role was a volunteer at the SOAHR conference many years ago.
Really? Okay.
About 23, 24 years ago, I was actually a volunteer at this conference. Then I joined a committee. And then I joined the true volunteer leadership team in a leadership role. And then from there, I just eventually moved up to these leadership roles by connecting myself to the right people. SHRM-Atlanta gave me so much knowledge around budgets and looking at how do we serve people in our community, and also connecting me with the best HR leaders in Atlanta, those that also are giving. So it's been an incredible journey. I've been the MC of this conference in the past. So I've stood on the stage and introduced great keynote speakers. And then I'm actually attending this year for the first time. I'm not speaking here this year. I'm just attending, but I am in sort of a pause. I'll get back to it next year. But it's just been an incredible experience to be able to meet the right people, connect with great leaders that really do care about HR, and also just the future of our profession, which is critical, and leaving a legacy for others to follow and creating that path so they can do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. What a great testimonial for SHRM-Atlanta and the great work they do. I want to, as we wind down here, I want to get back to your work at Talent Connections. So who are the types of clients that you like to work with that you think you can be very impactful for?
Those that we're most impactful for are mid-sized company CHROs or CEOs that are looking to hire their first CHRO, or a CHRO that let's say we've placed into their role and we're helping them build their team out. We understand the future of that organization, what their targets are, what their metrics are, what they're driving towards, whether it's transformation or acquisitions or mergers. We know the pace of that organization. We also know the personality of that leader, and we can help them find the best talent for their team across the board, whether it's total rewards, payroll, generalist function, or it can be talent management. It just depends on the size of that organization and the build out of the HR team, but we can help them get there.
That's terrific. Such awesome work by Teela Jackson at Talent Connections. Teela, we're delighted you stopped by and we could celebrate you and the great work you do. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, John. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. And folks, just a quick reminder that our interviews today are underwritten by Oberman Law Firm. When you have complexity in the workplace, our Oberman Law Firm can help you. Teela, thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. This episode of North Fulton Business Radio is underwritten by Oberman Law Firm. Oberman Law helps local, regional, and national clients manage the sensitivities of employee relations in the workplace.